is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question. Mm-hmm.
This is called knowing how to close. Kamala Harris stumbled last night in her CNN town hall, but Donald Trump literally going for the throat today with not one, but two insanely popular new initiatives. It's almost impossible to believe. If he does half of what he's promising, or if he does 10% of what he's promising, he'll be the best president in my lifetime, maybe ever. For the rest of my life. There's been some great presidents historically. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but this is absolutely incredible. Let's get right into it. By the way, we are just 30 new members shy of a big announcement over on thequartering.com. Not one, but two brand new on-air personalities that you might know and hopefully you'll love. I'm hoping you'll go to thequartering.com/join right now. In exchange for your membership, which is as little as $8 a month, it goes directly to Melanie Mack, Luke Rudkowski, Styx, my team. I get none of it. The money I build from this site, I bring on talent for the show. You also get members-only discounts, 20% off all Coffee Brand coffee. So if you're a Coffee Brand coffee head, this is free. 15% off Biltong, 30% off Sheath, a ammo discount by the end of the week, hopefully, and a huge extra discount for Meta PCs. I'm going to make sure I have so many discounts that your membership is effectively free. Then you get access to a members-only Discord where you talk to me directly. Melanie Mack, everyone's favorite Maggie, my assistant, she's in there. And hopefully I'll have Hannah Claire in there. If we get 30 more members today, I will hire Hannah Claire officially, and she will also be in there. So I'm hoping you'll take a moment to join right now. Now, last night, Kamala Harris had a disastrous town hall that Trump has seized on. This is probably the worst. I think a lot of you have probably seen it. In the moment, Trump actually did dip to 60.3%. His lead never really got smaller than 19.9 points in Polymarket. But people are buying the dip today, and he's surged handily back up now to, let's call it, it's almost 30, rounding down to 36, but call it 25 points, hopefully 30 by the end of the week, hopefully 100 by November 5th. For the first time in the history of Kamala Harris versus Trump, Donald Trump is actually within striking distance of the national popular vote. Kamala Harris leads just by 0.2. That's not 2 points. That's 0.2 in the RCP average. There is momentum. Trump voters still need to get out there to vote. They need to bring a friend, and they need to convince a infrequent voter why this year's election is important. A black pillar who doesn't think their vote counts anymore. Tell them, hey, maybe you're right, but let's go do it anyway. This needs to be too big. We need to swamp the vote. No shenanigans. Make it so big that no level of shenanigans can overturn this. There's 2 weeks left. I predict Donald J. Trump will take the lead in the national average polls, which again are meaningless. The only thing that actually matters are votes, but this shows trending. With his appearance on Joe Rogan tomorrow, set to seal the deal, he's made a hilarious announcement too, but let's look at this.
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on.
Crickets.
They didn't.
Literal crickets.
How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw was about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a
It's actually closer to 8%, and he also repaired about 500 miles of wall, which should also be credited. Repaired and refortified about 500 miles.
Photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a
come
bill
on.
that would earmark $650 million to continue.
Oops. She attempts to make fun of Donald Trump, and Anderson Cooper just ends her political career live on air.
Continue building that wall.
This is it. This is the moment.
That I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill.
Which does nothing.
To further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was
she thinks he's going to let her off the hook.
That America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it.
Alienating Democrats right now.
That's the point that I think is the most important point that can.
Now, all throughout the night, Anderson Cooper had let her off with a single fact check. That is not what's about to happen.
Be made, which is we need a president who is grounded.
She's trying to filibuster.
Common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing.
Yeah, okay,
let's
agree.
just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I'm not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's
So you think Donald Trump's idea was good?
stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
That's because of never Trumpers and boomer cons. Neocons, sorry, not boomer cons. Neocons in Congress and the Senate fought him every step of the way because they thought that they knew better than the American people. And by the way, how'd that work out for most of those guys?
I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen.
He walked her right into that. He walked her right into maybe the most savage trap. And it was CNN of all people. CNN of all people ended her political career. Now, ahead of Joe Rogan, which is being filmed tomorrow, and I hope comes out tomorrow. And I really, really hope that we get the flagrant podcast version of Donald Trump. The relaxed, normal guy, instead of him going on there and trying to like filibuster and talk about Kamala Harris, he should just worry about being relatable and worry about energizing his base, getting people to come out and vote. Because there's clips like this that, I mean, this ended her run last night.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And
you didn't do any of it.
Things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
What? Literally what? So Anderson Cooper, of all people, ends her career live on television. If you're watching my live stream, whether if you haven't yet, download that Rumble app. Follow the quartering on there. Our election night, basically election week coverage, I think is going to hold up to some of the best out there. Obviously, guys like Crowder and that and the Young Turks and stuff have been doing it for years. I'm trying to put together a team that really makes it fun. That's why I'm hoping that you'll join the quartering.com. I made the value prop earlier. Let me bring in someone like Hannah Claire, who's smarter about politics than me. Help me grow the team smartly and with your support. Now Trump unleashes his final salvos, and it's about to be the funniest thing ever. The day before Donald Trump is set to go on Joe Rogan Experience, he tweets this. As I have previously stated, I believe it is time to end needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of herb for personal use. We must also implement smart regulations while providing access for adults to safe and tested product. As a Floridian, I will be voting yes on Amendment 3 this November. As president, we will continue to focus on research to unlock the medicinal uses of herb to a Schedule 3 drug, and work with Congress to pass common sense laws, including safe banking for state authorized companies. A lot of times these dispensaries and stuff, they can't like safely bank. You know, they can't, the federal government could come and take their money, including safe banking and supporting states' rights to pass herb laws like Florida that work so well for their citizens. This 24 hours before he's going to be on Joe Rogan. Now, you can feel how you want to feel about the product. No one's forcing you to use it. You know, I think people going to jail for it is insanity. Okay. You want to have a personal bag, you want to have a dimer to relax, you should be able to do that. The fact that it's illegal is insanity. It's 2024 for crying out loud. But then, this is perhaps the biggest news. Donald Trump now considering ending all federal income taxes and replacing with tariffs. Think about it. He goes on Joe Rogan tomorrow and says, no more federal taxes, and I'm going to make your favorite wacky tobacco legal, or I support its legalization. I'm sure he'll say, you know, I push it to the states, but I support its legalization. I mean, he seals the election. That's every moderate, that's every person, every doper that doesn't vote, getting them mobilized to support Donald Trump. Everybody who pays taxes, and believe me, we all do, regardless of your political affiliations. I actually do believe that Trump could do this, or at least greatly reduce them. You know, why should we be taxing the American people so much? Let us have our money so that we can build the economy. If people want access, and again, I've explained how tariffs work. Yes, you don't tariff stuff we don't make, stuff that we need. But everything that America makes and exports, we should be tariffing. Automobiles, furniture, whatever, all this stuff should be tariffed just as much as we're paying. We're paying tariffs on stuff to bring in to compete against American companies. That's insane. All right? People who don't want to bother understanding how this tariff works, it's very simple. Mercedes wants to bring their cars in. Well, Germany doesn't allow us to bring cars into Germany without tariffing them, right? We say, guess what, Mercedes? You don't get access to the United States market, which is probably a third of your market, without paying a tariff. People are like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a tax. Wrong. What's actually going to happen is that Mercedes is going to say, hey, Germany, we need to get rid of this tariff. We need to sell Mercedes inside of America. So they will get rid of it or reduce it. America will get rid of it or reduce it. Mercedes are cheap here, and now American industry gets to sell their cars into Germany without tariffs. That's how it works. If you're flirting with the idea of no federal income taxes, I love it. Now, people saying, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Blah, 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 blah. Well, hey, I think some smart minds can figure out a way. You know, base taxation is theft. This is what Americans lead. I mean, I love it. I love it. He's going for the throat with just 2 weeks before the election. If you haven't voted, get out there and vote. Vote early. Bring someone with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. Make sure you head on over to thequartering.com/join. There's 2 members-only videos already uploaded today. There's 3 per week, not available anywhere else, completely uncensored. You get the members Discord, you get the members discount. The members discounts alone make this membership basically free, but your support keeps the team growing, keeps people like Melanie Sticks, hopefully Hannah Claire, Luke Rudkowski, keeps them on the rotation. Quartering.com/join, and I'll see you in the Discord later tonight.